Now Pedersen to blast all that hit. Rowe, diving save. Hart as he flashes across. Briere sets up Carl. Side of the net. Deflected. Score! Briere moving in. Stop. Comes to the middle. Still has it. Shot! Score! Here's Hughes giving it across. Oh, save! Save by Maher! He's an angle! Short-handed mid! He scores! Up top, cruising his Provorov. He scores! Ivan Provorov!
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Flyer to Podcast. I'm your host, Amedeo Grassia, along with my partner, Chris Maher. As always, we live stream on the Painted Lines, TTP Sports, and Flyers Fan Mania 93, a whole plethora of Twitter channels as well. So somehow, if you don't find us, I find you very crazy for not doing that. But still, if you can't do that, it'll be on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts at. So we got some breaking news, and yet we haven't done a podcast, I think a week or something like that. So a couple of games have passed, one Flyers win, a couple of losses. And before we get into that stuff, a little bit of breaking news. So Ryan Ellis and Kevin Hayes, they returned in the previous game against the Dallas Stars, where the Flyers lost 5-2. But we found out today during practice that Ryan Ellis didn't practice, and then Alain Vigneault in the press conference following that practice that Ryan Ellis re-injured himself and he's going to be out week to week. So we got Ryan Ellis back for one game and he's gone week to week. So I think I have a good video to represent our good old reactions towards this. So let me bring that up for people that are here watching this. Let me bring that in here. Let me put that there. It's a good old SpongeBob clip.
Some guys have all the luck. I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning I break my legs, and every afternoon I break my arms. At night, I lie awake in agony until my heart attacks put me to sleep. Oh, no! No! Ow.
Nice. That was not the video I was expecting you to bring up, but that's funny. Yeah, obviously that is a huge loss, and now that it's not day to day and evaluated, like every practice. Yeah, week to week for Ellis is not good. I mean, it's still crazy to me that this team is 7-4-2, and you've had a legit full lineup with two guys coming off of injury one game out of the how many of the 13 games that they've played. Like it just boggles my mind, man. And out of everything that's gone on this season, I still don't even think they're playing that bad. You know what I mean? Like I obviously everybody knows I'm more of the one that like I will legitimately get mad or aggravated at something when there's a reason to. Like, I'm not going to sit here and make it like them not scoring goals isn't an issue, but they've won games while scoring 2 goals or, things like that, or, not being able to score as many as they were in the previous games, in the start of the season. Obviously, losing Ellis hurts, and certain guys have been getting there. Like, Lindblom's going to be a healthy scratch tomorrow. I personally don't love that decision because I feel like Lindblom has been getting there, and to put him on the fourth line the last game, I didn't really like the lines last game either. But I understood some of them. I liked Hayes with Atkinson and Farabee. I thought that was fine. JVR obviously going up. He's been playing well, so that's fine. But really, like, Lindblom, I don't see any point of him playing on the fourth line. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily think that that's anything beneficial to him. If that's what you're going to do and continue to put Lindblom there, you might as well scratch him and just have him play and sit in the press box, because there's absolutely no point of Oscar Lindblom suiting up to play on the fourth line. There just isn't. It's nothing beneficial to him. Ellis obviously being out isn't great because it's a good amount of time now and it's week to week. Hopefully there's no surgery or anything involved. I know I'm getting off really negative to start this, and I'm usually not like that, but Braun's been playing well with Provorov. I think that's definitely beneficial to the team.
Ristolainen and Sanheim have actually been really good the past couple of
They
games,
have,
and they look
yeah,
like they're getting a lot of chemistry.
Yeah, I was just going to get into that. I feel like Ristolainen's kind of settling into his game. And I think Sealer's been Nick Sealer. I mean, I don't necessarily expect anything crazy from Sealer. He's very one-dimensional. If you texted me this earlier, and it was a very good point because I thought the same thing originally when I saw Sealer. I'm like, why don't they call up Yorkers and Mula? You know what I mean? Like, why would you continue bringing up Sealer when you could put up Zamula or York or anything like that? Another thing, Morgan Frost playing a lot better. I think has 9 points in the last 7 games for the Phantoms, something like that. He's been playing a lot better, more confidence. Phantoms have won a couple games in a row. You know, do you think the Flyers could call up Frost at some point if, they're not scoring? The argument against this is, are we really going to sit here and depend on a 22-year-old rookie who's had 20 games, essentially a cup of coffee with the Flyers? You know what I mean? And was very streaky during that time. Obviously, it was 2 years ago, but still, do you think the Flyers could call up Frost, even though they're not necessarily scoring games? But then again, you're kind of depending on a rookie to kind of come up and change everything. And I don't know if that'll do anything. You know what I mean?
I think if right now at the point of calling up Frost, I don't see it right now, especially since they got Hayes back. If Hayes was out more of a longer term situation, if it was going to stretch past November into maybe even January or something like that, I can definitely maybe see Frost getting called up just to maybe spark something different. But right now, I don't think they're going to call Frost up until something's really gone worse or it's injury related. Because now, if you call up Frost,
like Ellis again, I think at that point you're gonna have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because if you look at the way the lines are set up now, you got Hayes down the middle, you got Coots as your first line center as always, and now you got Scott Lawton as your third line center with Brassard on the wing. So then you have Thompson as your fourth line center, which we'll get into that in a little bit because I know a lot of people want to roast Nate Thompson for some goddamn reason. I don't know why. That's
I just don't get it, man. Like, I feel like people are expecting them to come out like guns blazing every game. And it's like when it doesn't happen, that's when all the negativity comes in. You know what I mean? Like the first couple games is like the sample size that everybody's like expecting. Like, oh, like 5 goals a game. Atkinson hasn't scored in a while. Like, what's the problem here? You know what I mean? Like, it's a long season.
Yeah, when you look at those first 4 games, of course, they're not going to keep up that 5-6 goal pace. It's not sustainable. But yeah, like when you look at the past schedule, yes, it's concerning when you look at the past so many weeks of them only scoring at least 2 goals, like going back to after the game against Edmonton where they scored 5 goals. If you look at that stretch after that, Vancouver, they won, they scored 2 goals. They get shut out by Calgary. They win against Arizona, scoring 3. But I know some people like to say, oh, you can negate the empty netter goal. So technically you scored 2 goals against a goaltender. Pittsburgh, you scored 2 goals. Washington, you scored 2 goals. You got shut out by Toronto on Wednesday. You beat Carolina on Friday, scoring 2 goals, and you scored 2 goals again against Dallas. So right now they're really struggling to get that above 2-goal mark right now.
How many games did they win, though? They beat Arizona. They beat Washington. They beat Carolina.
And they beat
You're
Vancouver.
Still winning games. You know what I mean? It's not like they're 0-6-1 in their last 7 or something like that. Like, they're winning games. And if I'm being honest with you, is it really that concerning? Like, I personally don't think it's that concerning. You've played 1 game with a full lineup, and I don't even think they played bad. I think Dallas was just that hungry because, another thing that I think a lot of people aren't talking about from the Dallas game, they were 1-4-2 coming into this. They played 2 games in the past week. They sat at home for a whole week, and I think their game before that was on Monday. Then they played Saturday. I don't know why the schedule was like that, but it was.
Yeah. And that win yesterday, that win on Saturday for Dallas was their first regulation win of the season. Too.
Yeah, and they also had a closed-door meeting, too. If that doesn't tell you, you have a home game against a team who's got 3 games in 4 nights, like, you're looking at it for the Stars, and you're like, this is a must-win for them, and they won the game.
Yeah,
I don't even think the Flyers play that bad. And if I'm being honest with you, I'm not concerned with the offense. I'm not. I know they're not scoring, but they're winning. And Carter Hart's playing well. And it's funny, I saw a tweet this morning, and it's hilarious too, because I honestly was starting to think it as well. Like, for years, how long do we talk about like goaltending, right? And how much we needed a goaltender and good defense in front of them and everything.
We
Now
have
that
that.
we have it
It's
now. But now
it's the offense isn't scoring.
right, and it's also the fact that we have the goaltending, but we're going to complain about it now. You know what I mean? It's like we have the really good goaltender from Carter Hart and Martin Jones, and we have a number one goaltender in Carter Hart. But going along with that, people are going to just start to complain about it and be like, "Oh, well, this shouldn't be happening every night." Like, if you're winning games because of your goaltender, that's fine. You are 13 games into a season. You haven't played with a full lineup once, or actually, you have one time, but
once.
Still,
And that was Saturday.
Right, it was one game out of 13, and you're 7-4-2 in a very tough division. It's going to take time to even out. There's going to be other teams in this division that go through slumps. It's not like every team is going to be perfect every night. It's a long season for a reason. I'm not concerned with this Flyers team. I'm not concerned with the offense. The power play, different story, because that is still concerning, because one night, Saturday, it looked a lot better. The game against Carolina, they were like horrible. I mean, they just could not get really anything going on the power play.
Also,
Dallas,
the game against Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto too. Oh my gosh. Toronto too. Yeah, I mean that was bad. And even last night, Saturday night, you had a lot of chances. You got a power play goal. Hayes had an assist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit here and make it like that I'm worried with this Flyers team. I don't know. That's just how I think. I know I think differently and whatever, but
you have the podcast Don't Panic for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not worried about this team. I'm not, because their true potential, I personally don't think is going to be this lights out team every night. I feel like this is going to be a Flyers team that can play with you, can continue to kind of play like this, get good goaltending, score goals. And if there's anything that is concerning, it's probably the fact that you're having guys that are just going through like smaller slumps, like guys like Farabee, but he ended up scoring in that game against Carolina. Like, that is one thing that is a little concerning, is guys are having slumps like that. But again, they are winning games at the same time. So if they're still winning and it's happening, I'm not going to sit here and freak out over it and be like, oh my God, like they're struggling, whatever. Like, they have a good record right now for not having a second line center and one of your best defensemen for majority of the season so far. I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and make it like it's the end of the world, kind of like the sky is falling kind of thing, like it's Chicken Little. Like, I'm just not worried about it.
I mean, yeah, I can definitely understand that, but I can also understand like yes, scoring 2 goals a game right now, it's concerning. Is it right now what's going to happen the rest of the season? Most likely not.
No.
The sustainability of scoring 5 to 6 goals a game, it's probably the same difference as scoring at a 2 goal a game pace. I think eventually it's going to even out.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing with goaltending. I mean, do you think Carter Hart's going to play like this every game? No. I'm sure him.
I hope he does.
Jones, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they're probably going to have an off game at some point. It happens. It's a long season for a reason. There's a reason you play 82 games. You just got to make sure it doesn't happen all the time. And if you're able to do that, because I damn know everybody who watches this team knows that they have the skill to put up 5, 6, 7 goals a night if they wanted. And they have the defense and the goaltending to play a complete game and, play solid and continue that. The only thing that is concerning to me is the fact that they're winning game, losing game, winning game, losing game, winning game, losing game. You know what I mean? If they can break out of that slump, pick up a couple wins, and then kind of go through there. But I do think this week is crucial for them. Obviously, the whole month is crucial, but this week especially, you have 3 home games.
All against tough teams.
All against tough teams, yes. But you've played 2 of these teams before. You beat Boston at home in a game where I actually thought they played really good, regardless of the shot total in that game, because I think the Bruins had around like 40 shots. I thought the Flyers played good in that game. Again, the one thing that they've done really well through majority of the season, didn't do it as it wasn't as good as it was against Dallas, was defend the middle of the ice. The Stars got a couple goals in front of the net. I think all their goals actually came around that game.
all of their goals came around the net. The first one was a deflection. The second one was a cross crease pass in the crease. And then you got, the deflection.
The third one
from
was
Sagan.
the tip in front. The fourth one was the weird bounce on the power play. And then the empty netter. But if I'm being honest with you, the Flyers didn't give up on that game. I mean, they were not playing in that game like it was 4-2. And honestly, it should have been 4-3 because McEwen should have scored. The reason that when the ref blew that off, that was a bad call. That should have been a goal. So it wouldn't have looked as bad as it actually was. But and who knows if that goal counts? Maybe the Flyers tie that game. You know what I mean?
Well, I think at that standpoint it was 5-2 when that happened. So I don't think it would have made a difference. Yeah, it was 5-2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. But still, like, the one thing I liked, though, was the fact that they battled. I thought they won a lot of puck battles. It just felt like Hudobin was kind of doing the same thing Hart did in Carolina. And he was just making all those saves. And they had a couple of chances on the power play that just rolled wide. Like,
you had that pass from Panicking to Sanheim that he robbed.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was one of their best first periods of the season. They had 19 shots in the first. But then
think about it. If they score if they score 1 or 2 goals in that first period, maybe you play the game a little differently. Yeah. Maybe you don't have to worry about, getting to that desperation mode where you had to at the end of the game. Yeah. And also like going back to the lines as well. I know like when you yes, like for JVR to contribute for this team, he does have to be up on a different line. But I don't like him on the first line with Couturier and Giroux. I don't know. I think he just kind of slows that line down. If you know, from my opinion, like with Konechny on that line, it just looks a little faster. Mm-hmm. But with JVR on the line, it just looks slower. If you know what I mean.
No, I mean I know what you mean because it's not that I feel that way too. It's just like I see what you're saying because Konechny is faster than JVR, so that does make sense. But I feel like JVR that 5-on-5 has been playing well, and he hasn't had many power play opportunities. So if I'm AV, I'm like, okay, our power play is struggling. Give him more, 5-on-5 time. Put him on the first unit or first line, because I feel like he is playing well 5-on-5. I think JVR has won a lot of puck battles. He's a good passer. I think he obviously has great chemistry with Couturier. We've seen that, and same with Giroux as well. But if there is one thing that I did like from that game was the fact that not all of the Flyers' chances came from the rush. They won puck battles. They were able to get shots from the point. The defense was pinching at like any time they could. Sanheim had a handful of chances to score. Ristolainen had one.
He pinched in on the first goal of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yandel almost scored a couple times. He had one slap shot. I think he had a wide open look. He ended up passing it over to JVR in the first minutes of the second period. And how about that JVR goal? That might have been the weirdest goal I've ever seen go into the net.
Yeah, it's like all the chances.
3 Stars players and just like rolled in.
Yeah, it was just like all the chances you were getting, and that's the puck that goes in. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it's just one of those goals where you have to get into the dirty area. You got 3 stars in the crease. You got JVR, Ristolainen coming up into the play to try to poke the puck in.
Yeah. Especially if JVR is like sitting there like swinging his stick at it.
Yeah, he's like flat on his ass trying to whack his stick at the puck.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, look, it is what it is. The one thing, though, I do think with this week for the Flyers is you have Calgary, a team that I don't necessarily think has played the best in recent games. I'm not really too sure. I could be completely off with that statement. I'm going to look that up now so I don't make myself look like an idiot. But
I'm also going to check their recent schedule because I know they did win their last previous game of the before.
They're 5-2-3 in their last 10.
Yeah, they shut out Ottawa on Sunday. Vladar got his first shutout of the season. So, and yeah, if you're going into this game, it's not going to be like you're in a goal scoring drought right now. It's not going to be easy to score against Calgary with the way Markstrom has been playing this year because he has been flat out amazing.
Yeah,
this year.
And after that 4-0 win for the Flames over the Flyers, they had a loss to the Predators, a loss to the Stars. They were both in overtime. Beat the Rangers 6-0 at home. And then they were on a 3-game losing streak against San Jose, Montreal, and Toronto. And then they just beat Ottawa yesterday 4-0, like you said. So really, they've only had 2 wins since they have played the Flyers back on October 30th. So they're obviously not playing the best, but 4-0 win yesterday, and they can. I mean, we've seen how Calgary can play against the Flyers, and the Flyers just did not look good at all in that game. That was not a showing of what the Flyers can actually do, and I feel like they will.
Especially when you have guys like Johnny Gaudreau coming back home, he's always going to perform well at Philadelphia. Sean Monahan likes to play against the Flyers, so he's going to step up in that game. And just look at Markstrom's stats on the season. Like 11 games played, 5-3-3. He has a 1.81 goals against average and a 9.35 save percentage with 4 shutouts already.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think the dude is putting up well too.
Yeah, he is. He's 3-0-1 with a 1.96 goals against and a 9.33 save percentage with 1 shutout. So yeah, Markstrom right now is putting up Vezina numbers.
I think it's also a good testament to their defense too. I mean, Calgary is a completely different defensive team, and they don't really give up many chances. I think the Flyers had. I think Provorov said it today in his media availability. I think they had 4 shots in the first 35 minutes of that game.
Yeah, they were not good in that game at all.
Yeah. And it was the fact that you had, you played with all the travel and you played a good game before in Vancouver. And Calgary was also playing well at the time. They won 5 in a row, 6 in a row before that. So look, it happens. And I think this is but what I was getting to my point was I do think this week for the Flyers is crucial, obviously, because of the schedule, but it's 3 home games. You have a day in between each, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You got Calgary, who, again, you've played before. That's a winnable game. Tampa Bay, they don't have Kucherov. They haven't looked like the Lightning, but they haven't necessarily been bad either. Yeah. And Boston is definitely beatable. Boston is a beatable team. They won't be easy, but they are a beatable team. And
Boston going into that game, they played yesterday. They're off the entire week before Saturday. They're off all 5 days. So you're going to have either a really rested Boston team or a really rusty Boston team from having that many days off.
Yeah, that's kind of where you want the Flyers just to pounce on them. And if they can't, then you want to be able to, and that's the thing with the schedule. Like, why? Why do the Bruins have 5 days off?
Why did the Flyers have to travel back-to-back from Carolina to Dallas? That's a weird scheduled travel.
Right. Why do we have 16 back-to-backs? This is why I wish when the Sixers were rumored to move to play in Camden and South Jersey, I wish they did it. Because this would have opened up this Wells Fargo Center. You would have just had concert dates and then the Flyers, and they probably would have had less back-to-backs, not as much as a condensed schedule together and everything. Like, why the hell do they play games when you go from, what was it before Toronto? Saturday night?
Yes.
Who did they play Saturday? Oh, Washington.
They played Washington on Saturday. They had 3 days off.
And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you don't play, and then you play 3 games in 4. Like, why? Why couldn't that be Saturday, Tuesday, and then, I don't know, Thursday or maybe Friday against the Stars? But again, there's so many things you got to factor in with the other team and stuff. But it's frustrating with the Flyers schedule because you have another back-to-back this month. I believe it's Florida,
Tampa. Florida. Yeah, Tampa, Florida. That's Tuesday and Wednesday before Thanksgiving. You got the Black Friday game at home. Then you got a road game against the Devils. You got a home game to wrap up the month against the Islanders. And then just the schedule just doesn't get any easier as the months go on. You start the month of December. And even, too, the last game of the season against the Islanders, that followed by a back-to-back in New York. So both New York teams.
Yeah.
On the 30th and the 1st.
You start December with Tampa and Colorado, I believe.
It's a home back-to-back, so it's not that bad. But so you have 2 back-to-backs in that week.
Yeah,
you have a home back-to-back against Tampa Bay and Colorado.
3 straight weeks with back-to-backs.
Yeah, you have Tampa Bay and Colorado in that back-to-back. Then you have Vegas and Arizona in a back-to-back, and then you don't have a back-to-back until the end of the month against Seattle and San Jose. It's just like Jesus.
Yeah, it's not great, and it's going to be tough for the Flyers. But
and then especially when you get to that Olympic break, it's just like, oh wow, 2 weeks without Flyers hockey, 2 weeks without back-to-backs. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, especially when you're going 2 weeks without it. And obviously, that game against Colorado is going to be a good one because Aubé-Kubel got picked up by the Avs off of waivers. Did not play last night for them, but what are your thoughts on that? Because I don't like it. I liked Albie Kubel, regardless of how frustrating he was and how many penalties he took, and had like I believe 60 something penalty minutes in like 100 and something games in the NHL. So not great. He had 44 penalty minutes in the 2020-21 season in the 50 games he played. So obviously there was a lot of good things that he did. He was more physical. He had some good skill, had pretty good shot. And he was just a guy that could bang, and he was always a guy that it felt like in the 2019-20 season, like he was playing so good he got power play time. You know what I mean? But losing him for nothing isn't great. Obviously, you get the cap back for him, and you don't necessarily have to worry about, I guess, with the different line all the time for the fourth line if Brown's in or Albie Kubel's in or McEwen or whoever. But I just don't like it because you lose a guy for nothing. And this is the second time you lost a player for nothing. Freeman, you lost on waivers. Obviously, that was a different story because Freeman, for some reason, was not liked by the team. You could clearly tell that in the games that he had played against them, and they would just kind of target him. But again, it doesn't necessarily seem like the best situation for the Flyers, but I want to hear your thoughts.
I personally don't mind it. At this point, Albie Kubel is what he is. He's a fourth-line player, and that's all he's most likely going to be for his entire career. He's a grinder. He showed all that promise in his first season when he got called up, and yet, sadly, he couldn't find a way to get back to that form. And he just, constantly just got frustrating and more frustrating as the years went along, especially last year. He's off and on this year, but he's still, had those, bad penalties at certain moments when maybe you shouldn't be taking those penalties, but at this point, he played himself out of the lineup. I personally think the line of McEwen, Thompson, and Patrick Brown had played a lot better than with Albie Kubel in the lineup. I think Patrick Brown even earned more of a roster spot than Albie Kubel did. So at this point, it is what it is. It happened, and you had to make a roster space for Hayes to come back, and Albie Kubel was the odd guy out. Do you hate losing a guy for nothing? But at this point, it is what it is. It's hockey. It's a business. Albie Kubel had to be the guy that was sent down because he played himself off the roster, and can't help it. I don't think he could. If you did trade Albie Kubel, my honest opinion, you probably wouldn't even got that much for him. You probably would have got maybe just a late round pick.
Could have got a pick for him. Could have got at least a third round pick.
No. Not for
you
all.
Could have got a third round pick for Albie Kubel. 100%.
No.
A third or a fourth. If you wanted, you could even sweeten it. You probably could have got a second, depending on the team.
No. Albie Kubel is not worth a second round pick.
At least a third.
At best, he's a fourth round pick. And not maybe at best, he's a fourth round pick. You're looking at a fifth, sixth, or seventh round pick for him.
No way. Third round. He's still young, dude. He's only 25.
25, but he's a fourth line player. That's all he is.
Doesn't have to be a fourth line player. He played so good before that he got power play time and could. And honestly,
but that was 2 years ago.
But it doesn't matter. It
does matter at this point. You look at recency bias. The past 2 years, he's been a fourth line player, being a healthy scratch in and out of the lineup, and he's a guy that's been taking bad penalties. Right now, if you're looking at GMs around the league, I know they said a lot of teams were looking at him on waivers, but when you're looking at those statistics, he's not worth a second round pick. I know he had a really good season a couple of years ago, but the past 2 years are more recent than what that did. And right now that showcases more of the player that Albie Kubel is right now than what he was a couple of years ago. So I don't think his value is worth a second round pick. I think he's more worth of that fifth, sixth, or seventh range.
Yeah. Well, again, keep in mind, I did say you could sweeten it and get a second out of it. Not like a flat base, because obviously I know he's not worth the second rounder, but you could have gotten a third rounder for him easily. Like there had to be some team where you could have traded him. You could have got a third or a fourth round pick. I just don't like losing him for nothing. I get it. You get the cap, but I feel like he could have worked himself out of that. And again, it's another thing of if a guy goes to a different city, different system, everything, different team, like the Avalanche are probably going to use him because I know they've had some injuries, and it just sucks because you lose another younger depth guy and you kind of fill in the role with another older guy in Brown. So it is what it is. But It's not Joel.
Oh man,
dude,
I just saw that in the corner of my eye.
It's funny because I'm actually so aggravated to the fact that the Flyers aren't necessarily scoring, and it's not in the fact that they're not because of what I had said earlier. It's the fact that my fantasy team is struggling because I have a lot of Flyers and they're not putting up points. Like, I'm 1-4 right now in my one league. In the other league, I'm 0-5. And it's because guys aren't scoring, and I have Flyers on my team, and it's literally it's like making me want to rip my hair out. Tim, I don't believe the Alumni Game is on TV.
No, I think I remember Bill Meltzer putting that on. I don't think he said the thing is going to be broadcasted, even though it should. But I can understand why it's not, because you are fighting with Monday Night Football, so you really don't want to worry about that. Because at this point, most people are just going to be like, okay, I'm not going to watch a Flyers Alumni Game over Monday Night Football. So.
I personally feel like that game should be on TV. If you're trying to get the city back into hockey, where it's been lost for a good amount of years here, like, I feel like that's something you got to kind of put on TV. The last one was on TV, the 2017 one against Pittsburgh at home. I don't know was the Winter Classic one on TV? That was on TV too.
Yeah, that was on TV. Like, I could understand why you're not broadcasting this game on television, because it's Flyers versus Flyers. Like, when you're going back to the one a couple of years ago, it was Flyers versus Penguins. So, yeah, I can understand televising that. But if you're just doing, like, Flyers versus each other, I can understand completely not televising that. Like, yeah, I just don't think it's going to draw the views that you might expect for it. It's like I know there's, like, no other sports going on today.
I don't think people that have been asking, though. Like, I've seen, is the game on TV on Twitter about like 30, 40 times. Same with Facebook.
But that's the thing. That's probably just the general Flyers diehard fan base. If you're asking about the casual,
same with the games. Like, it feels like there's nobody even at the games anymore. And it's just the general.
It's been like that. The casual fan just doesn't like hockey. Yeah. The casual sports fan. That's how it's been for years. Like, yeah, I don't like it as much as the next person, but that's just how it's been in every city. And that's how it is in every city.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating part of it, is the fact that you're trying to get the city back into the team, and last year sucked. And I hate talking about it, but last year was terrible, and it's a shame, because I would like to see, like, the crowd at the home opener. That was the loudest I've ever heard that building, ever. Like, I went to one playoff game, and they got shut out. And that was the loudest I ever heard that building. Like, if we can have that atmosphere every game, I know that's not going to happen. But if you could, like Seattle with their fan base, and Vegas, like, I get it, those are recent expansion teams and everything, but it would be so nice if we could get that back at Wells Fargo Center. But it's going to be tough to come back. But I feel like this week you might have that. You got Tuesday's game for the Hall of Fame induction for Tocchet and Holmgren. Yeah. You have Tampa Bay. That's a good game, and then you also have Boston on a Saturday night at home. I mean, that's going to draw some fans. So this week you might get some more fans in the building, but
I think it's just the way the NHL has been over the so many years. It's the casual fan. They prefer not to watch hockey. Like, the casual fan right now, it's basketball and football. Those are the sports that run this country. I even baseball is losing their audience, but they're just starting to get it back. So hopefully they can find a way to grow the game once again. But it's just right now, hockey is not appealing to the casual eye. And I know with the what'd you say?
I like shook because I caught a chill. It's so cold in my room, and I have a problem with my fan. Huh?
I feel the same way as you.
Yeah, and that's why I'm sitting here with a beanie on, because my fan, there's an issue with it. The string for my actual fan broke. So the only way that my light goes on is if my fan is on at the same time, and it's stuck on the highest setting. So it is just whipping in here right now, and I'm freezing sitting here. And my dog is sitting in my beanbag on the floor, wrapped in one of my Flyers blankets. And that's why the door is open. I explained this to Amedeo before, but to lovely people watching this or listening, my door is open because if the dog doesn't want to be in here anymore, she's got to go out. And then if not, she's going to start getting all antsy on the thing. And if you listened to my game review on Friday, you probably heard the dog go absolutely apeshit when my mother and sister got home as I was recording and ran up and down the hallway, which I apologize for that because I did put a comment on there, but I digress. And Amedeo, all right, if we're looking at these comments, do you have NHL 22?
I do not have NHL 22.
I personally, I love the game. If I'm being honest with you, I think the graphics are a lot better. The actual gameplay feels like legit hockey. I feel like there's a lot of puck battles that are actually like, it just feels more of like an actual hockey game. It's not like robots on skates. I like the menu. The graphics look great. All of that stuff looks good. If there's anything that I wish that they would change, it would just be the way that the way you score is the problem. Like the same goals kind of still go in, the cross crease, the one timer, all of that stuff. But I play HUT, EASHL, online versus shootout mode, all that stuff. I hate franchise mode. Has absolutely sucked since like NHL 18. Be a Pro, the whole new update they did, I don't like it. I just don't like the whole story mode, and it's exactly, it's useless. I mean, it's once you get past all the beginning stuff, it's the same thing. There's nothing really different about it. I wish they would have a player point of view camera angle where you actually could like see through the player's eyes and see the puck in front of you and everything. Like, and they do have that in the game, but the problem is when you don't have the puck, it switches back out to the original camera. And then when you pick up the puck, it takes like a second or two to go back into that camera. And when it does that, look, I have a headache like 2 minutes into my shift. It just doesn't work. So I like the game so far. I'm going to give it time because it's still kind of early in the game's like release. And I haven't played it as much either. I just haven't really had the time to actually play it. But like, I was playing it before a little bit, and I like HUT. The only thing I hate about HUT is it's just like pay to win. If you pay money, you get all the packs, you get all the things. Like it's just none of the sets or anything like that is rewarding. It's kind of just like you gotta save up all your coins and whatever. But
that's why I don't like buying sports games anymore, because they like draw it so much towards those like, you know, build a team modes or the hockey ultimate teams, the Diamond Dynasties, your Madden ultimate teams and stuff, NBA My Team for 2K. It's just like that's where the game is mostly more geared towards, and especially with the microtransactions and the pay to win shit. That's why I really don't get geared, because I like playing the offline stuff. And really now with a lot of these games being online centered now, these games kind of take a back step on the offline stuff, and they really don't pay attention to it, which kind of sucks. And it's just that I don't know, because like the main the main YouTuber I watch for NHL 2BC's productions, like he goes on major hiatuses, and he hasn't posted like since the game released. So I have no idea what the hell this hiatus is for. But
did he just do a shootout mode not long ago, and that was it, right?
That was like, I think the last time it said it was like 3-4 weeks ago. So
I was gonna say like 3 weeks ago.
I've been talking with Hunter the past couple of days, like especially like when we were at the game against Toronto, we were even talking about like video games and shit, like buying like I didn't buy the new NHL. I don't even think he bought it yet, but like what Trevor's saying right here, COD Vanguard, like the new Call of Duty has actually been really good this year. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna get that, but it does pique my interest because I've just been like in a huge gamer block. I just don't know what to play right now.
Right. And that's the thing, like Joel's coming here, Diamond Dynasty. Like, yeah, Diamond Dynasty is cool, but like once you get past the 4 games you got to play, you got to restart the team. You can't keep the same team, and like and that's the thing. The one thing I hate about HUT 2 is the contracts. I think it is the stupidest thing in the world when you get a player and you have a legit like I have a base card McDavid that I pulled out of a pack, and the most aggravating thing throughout the entire thing of HUT is the fact that you have to apply a contract for him to keep playing. Like I have him in my line. You know what I mean? It's just so stupid. And that's every EA game though. That's Madden. That's I think the show is like that too, right? MLB. Do you have contracts with the show? No.
I don't think Diamond Dynasty uses contracts, but it's like you can keep the same players in your lineup, but you definitely want to like the game is more grind oriented, where you grind to try to get these specific packs, do these specific programs to get these specific cards.
Yeah, that's what I like about MLB, because at least when you grind, it's rewardable. In NHL, it's like, oh, you reward, but then you have a choice of an 83 to an 85 overall player. Like, what the fuck? Like, give me something that's going to at least, like, I feel like literally 2 weeks into when 22 comes out, every person in the game has like a 90+ overall roster, and you can't find any other, because everybody just grinds the shit out of it and just spends their money on it, and they have the best roster in the world. Like, it is the most aggravating thing playing it, because I would like it if it wasn't pay to win. And I know it's not like you pay to get players, but when you spend money on, like, if you spend coins or the points on packs, you get nothing out of them. Absolutely nothing. It's just not fun.
I think the game that's worse with that is 2K. They're really bad with pay to win. That's like the worst possible thing about it.
Yeah. Like I've been playing 2K too, and I like 2K. I actually like the game. Like, playing NBA, like just the actual basketball point of it, like, is fun, but everything else is just
pay to win.
And the last 2K I played was 16, and I think that was one of the best games I've ever played in my life. Like, because I'm not a huge other video game guy besides sports. Like, I played like every NHL since like 12, and I even played the old ones before that on like 360 and stuff. But that was after when I have everyone, and I just bought them and just started playing it because it's fun. But like 2K16 was fun because there was different modes. Like, there was online, and then you could play like the ESHL part of 2K. I forget what it's called. Help me.
My
here.
team.
It's
not my team. It's it's not the park either. I think I forget what it's called. Me and my buddy were talking about it yesterday.
Mode. Yeah, you play park mode, but it's like different. Like, it's like you have your own player and you play with a bunch of different people.
Yeah. I'm trying. Is it the Rec? I think. I'm not sure.
I forget what it's called.
I'm not sure if it's the Recs.
You play at the park, and then you can play in like the other different courts with a bunch of different people.
Mm-hmm.
And you could play like 3-on-3, 2-on-2, like that, and then you can also play 5-on-5 games. Like, that's fun. I like that part of it. And then that's the same with EASHL. EASHL is the best mode they have in the game. Easily. But the problem with EASHL is, I was talking about this with Aaron all the time, Philadelphia Flyers hockey on Instagram. We play all the time. Like, we've gone through like 6 different clubs on 21. Like, we used, in the summer, we played just about every night. And I'm not talking like 1 or 2 games. We would play this until like 2, 3, 3:30, 4 in the morning, from like 10 o'clock on. So it was fun. But the problem with it is, you get into that point where it feels like the game is going against you, and it's like there is just an invisible fucking wall behind the goaltender, and you cannot score a single goal. No matter what you do, like, everybody, I feel like in that game too, I don't know why we're getting on video games, but
why not?
Yeah. But when you kind of, like, when you start to play the game and you pick up a couple wins, it seems easy. And then you get that one team where you just can't do anything against them. Every poke check is missed, or it's a trip or whatever. And it feels like everybody's like a 5'7" sniper, just fast as shit up the wall. Can't catch them, can't do anything, then just go in and score. It's just like, it's fun, but it gets to that point where it's really frustrating. But then you keep playing because it gives you those couple games where you play really good and you're like, okay, we can do this again. You know what I mean? So that is the one thing that's fun about it. And obviously it can't be completely dominant the entire time either. There's got to be some sort of setback. But sometimes it's just like, dude, like, come on. It just feels like
also one of the other problems I've seen with the sports games too. It's like the only one right now that has crossplay is MLB.
Oh, yeah. Like,
I don't know why NHL or 2K doesn't have that.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about this with Yariv. The fact that NHL 22 does not have crossplay is the biggest, easily the stupidest decision they could have made, releasing that game. Easily. Like, it's just like, they did it in 21. And it was good because you could play with everybody. It just expanded everybody's gameplay more, and you can play with more people. Obviously, everybody knows the benefits from it. Why would you stop doing it? You know what I mean? It's weird, man. It's weird.
It is. It's I don't know. Like, for some reason, I've bought every NHL game since I think 2012 or 2013. So right now, this is the first year I haven't bought NHL on opening day, or like on release date. So like maybe I do find it in the future or something like that. But right now, I haven't had the incentive to buy it, right? Because I just like I get into this like it's like, why do I like want to pay, $59.99, $69.99 for a game that I'm going to play for 2 months and then eventually stop playing because I get bored of it? But that's just the thing. But
because this is the only one that I actually pre-ordered, because I was actually really excited for the game when it came out. I wanted to see the new graphics, and they weren't really giving many teasers. And the Frostbite engine I was really excited for, and I was like, okay, this might be the year this game's actually good again. And I like the gameplay. That's the best thing, but everything else is still kind of the same. But I feel like this is a step in the right direction for them because of the new gameplay and also having the new graphics. I mean, like, when you go into the instant replay mode, the game, it literally looks real. The only issue is some of the things that they have, that some of the problems that they're having is the legit faces of the guys. Like, some guys look like they actually are who it's supposed to be. Some of them look nothing like it. Like, who was it on the Flyers? I can't remember. I think it was Provorov. But he does not look like Ivan Provorov. That's like the Jake from State Farm or like Walmart kind of Ivan Provorov. Like, that's not Provorov. It just does not look like Ivan Provorov at all. And I know they did an update with that. They did like new jerseys and stuff. The other thing that frustrates me with the World of Shell mode is the hockey bags. I don't know if you ever played that, Amedeo, but anybody else listening to this or watching, the hockey bags is probably the stupidest thing they could have added into the game, because it's kind of like it's kind of like it's like,
is it like a like mystery boxes or something?
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, so it's just like a mystery bag, and you get them after wins and certain accomplishments, and when you open them, you actually have to like if you have a lot, like I have like over like probably 90 in there because I don't open them. I think they're stupid. But it's just like you open them up and you're able to customize your player, and you unlock jerseys, sticks, all that stuff, celebrations, shit like that. And when you open them up, you can't open everyone at one time. You have to legitimately sit there and open one and then drag the stick like it pulls the zipper of the bag open. And it takes forever. And it's the same thing with the pack animations. They have the cool pack animations, but they just take so long. And then when you actually hold the button to skip it, it just ruins the entire thing. So you have to kind of watch it. Like, some of the things are just
so, at least with MLB The Show, you can skip all that crap and just get to who you get.
Right. Yeah, Joel, exactly. Like the bags, they pile up and they take forever to open because sometimes it doesn't even tell you if you get them. I don't even think it does by memory because I don't look at it, so I don't know. But it's like, it's just so aggravating, man. When you have to sit there and drag the left stick for like good 3 seconds just to open each one and then flip through everything. And if you don't even like it, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I remember them saying like with the offline stuff with franchise mode in the like, I know they're adding like downloadable rosters now, so people can now share their rosters, I think, eventually. Yeah. So maybe I'll get the game when that happens, but I do think they're missing the ball on like, GM connected to where you can play online franchise mode with other people. If they brought that back, I would buy the game immediately because I would love to play online, GM mode with you and everyone else, just to, see who can win a Stanley Cup with the best roster.
Yeah. And I don't remember a GM connected because my Xbox 360, my parents bought it for me. It was used and it was broken, not broken where I couldn't play it, but broken in the fact that I couldn't use online because I don't know what it was, but I think the Ethernet cable in the back was busted, so it couldn't connect to a router. So I didn't have any Wi-Fi. So every game I played was offline. So I'd play. All I played was Play Now, Shootout mode, Be a Pro, and Franchise mode. That was it. Only 4 modes. Once I got to NHL 15, and this was NHL 12 to 15 because I had that for 360, then I ended up getting a Xbox One. And I still have that, and I also have a PlayStation 4. So when I started playing NHL 15, that was when I bought the online card. And when that would happen, I would kind of just start playing everything. And then I got into Hut, and there was one point where I think I spent a embarrassing amount of money in 8th grade on that game. But I had a really good fucking team. I think I had a 98 overall Ryan Getzlaf card. That's how good my team was. It was it was embarrassing how much money I spent on it, but it was a good team. But that's what I mean. It was pay to win. You had to pay for the packs, all that stuff. So it is what it is. And again, I just don't have the time to sit there and grind out games anymore. Yeah. And it's not even that I don't have the time, because I probably do. It's just I don't want to. I just don't have the
patience.
Drive. I don't have the drive or the patience to do it.
Yeah, it's just like what Joel says right here. When we were younger, it's like you could play games for hours and hours. Like right now, if I play a game for an hour or more, I'll probably get bored of it. Right? I just need that new game that can drive me in and just hook me right from the get go. Right now, I just don't have that. So we're in this rut right now. So the finally, I guess, end the video game topic. It was a nice topic to talk about. We'll probably get into it once again. You never know, in another couple of weeks, but who knows?
Yeah.
So
it was not what I was expecting to talk about today, but
me neither. So we have a alumni game tonight at 7 p.m. at the Wells Fargo Center. We got Paul Holmgren's team going up against Rick Tockett's team, and both teams are actually wearing uniforms that Flyers fans have, begged the team to change back to. You got Holmgren's team wearing the black uniforms from the early 2000s and 90s. You got Tockett's team wearing the orange uniform from the 90s era, the Lindros era, and everything. So, yeah. So let's go over this roster for this alumni game. So we got Paul Holmgren's team. We got on the first line John LeClaire, Eric Lindros, and Scott Mellenby. We got Scott Hartnell, Adam Hall, and John Lupul on the second line, Scotty Upshaw, Ron Suter, and Dave Brown on the third line, and your extra forward is Todd Fedoruk. And it's funny, too, a lot of the players on these jerseys, when they first showed them, a lot of them were misspelled. You got Hartnell getting spelled to Hardnell.
Yeah.
Hardnell, you got Fedoruk's name getting misspelled. It's just who made these jerseys? It was wow. You got defenseman, you got Mark Howe, you got Dan McGillis, Joe Watson, and Darian Hatcher. Your goaltenders for the black team are Robert Esch and Neil Little, and both of those goaltenders will split time. So we got Rick Tockett's team now. They'll be wearing the orange jerseys. The first line will be Simone Gagne, Danny Briere, and Mike Knuble. Second line, Brian Propp, Pelly Eklund, and Lindsey Carson. You got Donald Brashear, Mitch Lamoureux, and Reggie Leach on the third line. Then Riley Cote is the extra guy. You got Chris Terry and Shel Samuelson on the first defensive pairing, Brad Marsh and Nick Schultz. And then Mike McKenna as your main goaltender. And the Flyers brought over one of the goaltenders from the Flyers Warriors to back up Mike McKenna. So it's looking to be an interesting time there. I'll be there as a fan. Chris is going to be there in the press box for Flyers Nitty Gritty. So looking like it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, it will be fun. There is going to be media availability for it too, so stay tuned for that. That will be fun. Again, it's not on TV, which is unfortunate, but it's going to be fun. A lot of good things from the alumni game, and I'm excited to see these jerseys because that was something I was looking forward to when they tweeted it. And I know Bill Meltzer has done a lot of work on this. He did the program for the Warrior Classic, which was a good amount of time to do that because it was really well written. And I noticed actually in that there's actually a couple pictures that I took that are in the back of that, which was pretty cool. So Bill, if you're listening to this, thank you. And also he also did the program for the alumni game. So that definitely took a while. And how about Joe Watson? I mean, he's 78. and he's playing in this game. I mean, it's awesome. So
yeah, he's got the jump in his game.
Yeah, exactly. That's the,
I think he's going to score a couple of goals. He's going to score a couple of goals, I believe.
I have a feeling the Briere, Gagne, Knubel line is most likely. I didn't think they scored at least 3 tonight.
Yeah, it's sadly you can't get the Legion of Doom fully back for this game without Michael Renberg. So like
it's gonna be fun going. It's gonna be fun. Isn't it gonna be kind of fun though? Just going down there, just to see like some hockey that you don't have to care about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that's what I liked with the Flyers Warriors. And it wasn't, and I don't want to make it like I didn't care about it, but it was like, oh, I wasn't like intently watching the game, like holy
like something
shit,
you don't
like,
have to stress out about.
Yeah, I don't have to sit there and like want to rip my hair out watching it like it's the Flyers or something like that. I can just enjoy it. The teams are playing well, like it's just good hockey. So that's definitely going to be fun, and we'll see who wins. Who do you think's winning?
I think I'm going to go with I think Rick Tockett's team's going to win. I think the recent NHL head coach and Rick Tockett's going to ride that team out to a victory, and Mike McKenna's going to, stand out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, I don't know,
but it also feels like every time Neil Little is in a net in any one of these games, he always like pitches a shutout. Like he never allows a goal.
Yeah, didn't he have a shutout in the one period he played against Pittsburgh?
I think. Yeah, in the half game he played against Pittsburgh, and Bush came in and allowed a couple of goals.
Weren't they up like 3-0 in that game?
I don't remember.
I think they were up like 3-0. And that's it. Are they selling tickets for this in the 200s?
I think they are.
Just all in the 100 sections?
No, I think they're selling in both levels.
It's the whole stadium, yeah.
Yeah, because we originally bought our tickets in our like usual season ticket holder seats, but then they got changed to one of the ends. So I'm not sure why that happened, but I'm assuming they're selling stuff in each bowl in the Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I know that there were people saying like the east end was full, but there was a lot of spots on the west side, which I was like, does that mean they're only doing it on the lower bowl or what? But I don't know. We'll see.
You got Soto finishing out he wants to see the Legion of Poon next time. Well, sadly, you can't do that because Carter's still playing in Richards. I have no idea what Mike Richards is doing right now. So who knows? But also to end off this podcast with a little bit of breaking news, even though this I think happened like an hour or two ago, it was announced by the Ottawa Senators. Their next 3 games are postponed because they are dealing with a major COVID outbreak. They have 10 players currently under protocol. So right now the Ottawa Senators are.
You brought that up already.
I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did we talk about this before the pod, or did we talk about it?
No, you brought that up in the first couple minutes.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
If I did, we started talking about the Flyer schedule. We started talking about the schedule.
I am drawing
the game, and then I went on a long rant. I think that's what maybe messed up. And then the video.
I'm drawing a long blank at this point.
So before this game, dude.
I need some coffee, even though I don't drink coffee. But who knows? I don't drink coffee, but I might need it.
You drink anything like that, like energy drinks? Anything?
I do not.
No.
I hate energy drinks. That's just pure sugar that I don't need.
I started drinking Monster, and not my greatest decision, but
also also like prayers out to the people that are right now in Lillooet in British Columbia. Right now there's a huge flood that's expected to happen, and they're evacuating the entire city. So hopefully everyone is safe and manages to get out safely. Just hopefully it passes by. So prayers go out to all those people there.
That's unfortunate. Is that near like Vancouver, or?
I am not. I think it's. I'm not sure if it is closer to Vancouver. It might be if it's in British Columbia, but I'm not sure where at. So yeah, prayers out to those people going through that situation. Hopefully everything turns out okay. But we are going to end this edition of the Florida Podcast. Thank you everyone for joining. That did tune into the live stream. If you tuned in late, like you, Joe, I know you tuned in late. You can tune into it on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast at. So definitely don't forget to check that out there when it goes up after this stream ends. And also, don't forget to check out the Painted Lines wherever they're at: YouTube, social media, Twitter, Instagram. Definitely check those out. Check out our separate YouTube channels: TTP Sports for me, Flyers Fan Mania 93 for Chris. Also, our separate Twitter accounts as well: the Florida Pod Twitter account, my Twitter account, Chris's Twitter account. Definitely give us a follow there. Also, the Florida, a lot of Twitters. Definitely the Florida Pod merch website. The link is down in the description of the stream below. Do not forget to check that out. So, thank you for joining this edition of the Florida Podcast. Let's see who wins between the Flyers and the Flyers tonight in the Alumni Game. So, I don't know, Chris, are you betting the Flyers tonight?
Yeah, I would think the Flyers are going to win this game.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Flyers. So, thank you everyone for tuning into this stream, and we will see you next time.